Hello everyone, welcome back to the reformed Newcastle Fans TV Women's channel, and today we are going to be talking about some positives to come from Newcastle's 4-1 away win down Ipswich, which clashed with me being at West Ham, so I can't be two places at once, which is rather annoying because it's happening a lot, and again it is this weekend as the double headers of the derbies coming up. I'm unfortunately down Brentford for the men, but Joe is going to be with us for Durham away, which isn't too far out. But obviously the 4-1 win over the weekend for the lasses is much needed. Obviously the departure of Becky Langley, which we still don't feel that we agree with, and obviously the lasses were on a bit of run of form coming back from the last 3 games, scoring lots of goals and stuff and going into a little bit of momentum. And obviously I still think that Newcastle would have won if Becky was in charge of the game, but we've got to move on from it now, unfortunately. We don't agree with it, but we'll move on from it. It was a good win for Claire Ditchburn, who's in interim charge at the moment with Peter Ramage helping her out. And obviously Newcastle, with the lineups in particular, was interesting to see if Claire would move a couple of things around that she maybe didn't agree with in the lineups that Becky potentially put out, but she stuck with Femke Liefting in goal, Charlotte Wardlow right back. It was interesting to see Shania Hayles play for the middle, but there wasn't too many surprises for me in the lineup. You know, you look at that and think, ooh, that's interesting, but there wasn't any like standout in the lineups. There wasn't like, wow, you know, she's starting, she's been dropped or anything like that. But Newcastle got off to a good start with Una having a deflected shot in the first 14-15 minutes, and then it took a little bit of a while for Newcastle to get a little bit of momentum after the half hour. I think it was 33 minutes when Newcastle were having a lot of shots before half time. It was Savenius again having another shot which the goalkeeper pushed up. Hale's shot was deflected, and then from the corner Mannion headed over. And then on the 30th minute, Hales flicks it out to Nobbs, and she bursts forward, showed Nobbs, slip it into Gregory, who perhaps should have done a little bit better, but goalkeeper does save. But then the goal came on the 40th minute, and as I say, Newcastle were putting on a little bit more pressure, and Hales plays the ball out wide to Nobbs, who then crosses back to Hales, who kind of hits her chest and goes into the back of the net. It doesn't matter how they go in. Newcastle are 1-0, a great time to score 5 minutes before half-time, and in all honesty, it was deserved looking at back, watching the full replay of the game. And then in the second half, I have to say, Newcastle just went up another level and Ipswich didn't really compete. It was clear, evident that they've just been promoted. You could tell. You could really tell. And they'll do well to survive this season. And then on the 49th minute, Molly Pike plays a little 1-2 of Nobbs and she crosses low. Gregory mishits it, just trying to lay off Hales, but kind of hit her left foot, hit her right foot. But there's Shania Hayles to get a double and slot home and make it 2-0 to Newcastle. Ipswich did get a goal back a few minutes later. I have to question the goalkeeper on there. I think keeper Liefting has to do a little bit better with that cross, but it's deemed to go over the line. Robertson's pulled one back for Ipswich, but questionable if that was over the line or not. But didn't take too long for Newcastle just to carry on that run of possession and, you know, creating chances. And just before the hour mark, Gregory's picked up Pike's cross. She crosses. Savenius can't get a clean connection to the header, but there's Molly Pike who puts in a great volley at the bottom corner, and it was a good finish by her. 80th minute, Lumsden cross for Murphy to head home. She come off the bench, and then he had a few chances in the stoppage time, likes of Murphy playing it off to McQuaid, who shoots wide, and Jordan Nobbs shoots wide as well. So it was a comfortable afternoon for Newcastle, and I want to go through some positives. I've got one slight negative, but a lot of positives from there. Shania Hayles is up and running, despite the commentator not knowing how to pronounce her first name. It's Shania. Not difficult to say or pronounce. So she's now got 2. She got 15 last season, so it's good to see her up and running. Fox in the box goals, which is good to see. Pike's running. I loved Molly Pike's running and athleticism and involvement in a couple of goals. Same as Freya Gregory. She was involved in a couple of goals as well, so some real positives from there. I think Jordan Nobbs is getting better and better each game. She was a little bit sloppy with her passing, but a lot of the play went through her, and that was nice to see. And I think game by game, she's getting better and better. Another good hour for Elysia Boddy, who started the game. So that's positive. We need to keep her fit for the rest of the season. And again, Murphy scoring. That's the second of the season. A little reminder to the coaching team, or the new coaching team coming in, that, look, I can't score goals. So good to see Emily Murphy. Jemma Purfield making her debut. That's long-winded, long time coming with her injury. Obviously, she signed in the summer, and you know what was really nice? Loads of the lasses went up to her when she was coming on, and they were just delighted for her. And that shows like togetherness, and it was lush to see. It really was. However, I do have one negative from it, and I think it's the goalkeeper. I'm not convinced with the situation with the goalkeepers. And obviously, Claudia has lost her place. She's come under some criticism. But I'm not massively convinced by Femke Liefting either, who's obviously on loan from Chelsea. Some of the goals that she's conceded this season, I mean, the one against just the other day, that was really, really poor. It was just a soft free kick and simple catch. Maybe I'm being a little bit too harsh on the goalkeepers, but I just think that's an area where I think we could see that strengthened again. I really do. I could possibly see that next summer. But overall, fantastic. Great win. 4 now unbeaten. 7 goals in the last 2 games. 11 in the last 4. Great win for the coach and team. Claire Ditchburn, Peter Ramage, Brassy, who obviously I bumped into last week as well. And Newcastle are now up to 6, if you can see this on the league table. Just 4 points off the top 3, and everyone's saying it was a crisis 2 weeks ago. It was never a crisis. It was too early in the season to let a manager go. How it works in the WSL2 is that the top 2 automatically go through. Third place will play a bottom team in the WSL1 for a place to go in the WSL1. So, look, it's still early on. It's still achievable. The top 2, even third place. It's not a crisis at all. I think there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that will come public. I think that will come in time though. But yeah, we have to move on from sadly Becky's tenure. But obviously it's a great win, as I say, from Claire Ditchburn, the interim team. Speaking of Claire, let's hear what she said and what Shania said about the win.
I think we were under no illusions that today was going to be an easy game. We expected it to be a big challenge. So, yeah, like you say, it was very close. It was competitive, and then we were able to take it up a notch. And I thought that's where the players managed the game really well.
I think it's been a tough start to the season on a personal note, but I think I'm a goal scorer. That's what I want to do, especially for this club. So to get 2 goals today, it just gives me the confidence every goal scorer needs just to get them first few, and then it just opens up everything from there.
So there you go, everyone. That is a wrap then. So that is your last word / match reaction from Newcastle United beating Ipswich 4-1 down in Colchester. It's mad how many teams don't actually play in the home city, and we're one of them as well now. Now we're playing Gateshead, but there we go. But anyway, smash that like, everyone. Drop us a comment down there below if you've watched the game, or were you there? Were you the few hundred of Toon fans that were doing there? But we'll love yous and leave yous, and we'll see you very soon here on Newcastle Fans TV Women.